Hi dreamers, this is DJ with Dreaming Joy 1111. I'm a dream walker, and last night one of you had a dream about poetry and public speaking. So I'm going to get straight to the description, then we will look at what some of the dream symbols mean. We'll look at the energy using some tarot and oracle cards, and then I'll give you my opinion on what's happening. Okay, so in the dream last night, you were in front of a lot of people. This is a public speaking type dream. You were trying to remember the words of a poem. And I'm not sure if you like poetry in your waking life, if that's, your jam. But in the dream, it was a poem. It was a poem that you know, and you kept messing it up. You couldn't quite get all the verses out correctly, but you kept trying, which is very interesting, because a lot of times in public speaking dreams, people kind of stand there in fright. You didn't. You just kept trying to tell the poem. You weren't apologetic. You were uncomfortable, but you weren't constantly apologizing. You didn't back away. You didn't stop. So in the dream, you just couldn't remember the words to this poem, and you felt like everybody was watching and that they were disappointed. And that's when the dream ended. So that's when I woke up. And I want to go over a few symbols that we can talk about. So if you're dreaming about poems in general, that is a symbol for fantasy, dreams, and hopes. So you might be one of those people who are very creative, or you might be one of those people who have an entirely different life in their mind. A lot of people are in this world living this life, but they have sort of a fantasy in their head about their life. And so you might be one of those people if you are dreaming about poetry. Now, if you're dreaming about poetry that you're actually reading in the dream, this could be a sign of good luck when it comes to business. So in this case, you weren't reading it, you were trying to remember it. So maybe that has to do with business. Maybe it has to do with uncertainty in business. Sharpening your intuition and improving relationships with other people, those things could cause you to have a dream about poetry. So if you're in the process of improving your intuitive skills, you might have dreams about poems. A dream in which you do not recall all the verses of a poem could suggest that you have lost your rhythm in your life. You may be feeling depressed in your waking life due to the loss of rhythm that you perceive happening. It could be a sign of feeling a loss of control in your life. So just not being able to get the words out, standing, in front of a bunch of people and not being able to get the words out could make you feel like you have a loss of control in your waking life. Even when you feel out of control in your life, this is a sign that things will be coming together for you and that you're on the right path. So, poetry is about rhythm, and in the dream you couldn't quite get all the words out, so you might feel like you don't have any control, but the fact that you continue to go is a sign that it is the path that you're on. So whatever in your life you might be questioning or feeling isn't working out, you kept going in the dream, and you kept standing there. You're supposed to be there. You're supposed to be doing this thing, right? Not being able to recall your poem can also be a sign that you need to stand strong with whatever convictions that you have, or face a difficult task that is coming up, right? So maybe the part where you feel like you're not in control is that, something might not be working out the way that you had planned it to. And maybe you're starting to question your plan, your convictions, the things that put you on this path. And the dream itself, you standing there, regardless of not knowing the words, you still kept trying. That is a sign and a symbol that you need to face these challenges head on in your waking life. The overall symbology of standing in front of people and, giving a speech, or in this case, a poem, is a feeling of pressure to perform and feeling exposed in your waking life. So it could just be that there is something in your life right now that does feel like a challenge, and the dream is showing you that even if you forget your words, you can keep trying. So I just want to see what the tarot cards have to say about the overall feeling of the dream. Okay, we got the Seven of Pentacles. We got the Six of Swords. We got the Eight of Pentacles. Is that showing up? We've got the Devil. High Priestess. Two of Cups. So it looks like you've been putting a lot of work into something, and you're thinking about walking away from it. You're thinking about whether it's even worth it. The Ace of Pentacles could mean that you might be, it could be this new thing that you're working on, this challenge, that you might be considering walking away from. You've been putting a lot of work into it. You might want to leave. But it could be something else that's coming that might make it better, might make it easier to face head on. It could be an offer for help. Whenever I see the Devil, I get a sense that you actually want this thing. You want it to work out. You've been obsessing over it. You've really put in a lot of hard work, and you want it. And I also think that your intuition is growing. So I don't know if this has to do with a relationship with someone. We do have the Two of Cups here, but this could be about partnership. I almost feel like this could be either a relationship with someone, or it could be a job. I'm getting a strong sense that you are considering leaving something that you've put a lot of work in, something that you've really obsessed about, and you're thinking about leaving it behind. You might be leaving it behind for something new. But you see, the Nine of Wands is under the deck. This is what you may not see coming, or this is maybe what you're not admitting to yourself. And I feel like this is telling me that you have more fight. You have more work. While you might be thinking the grass is greener, you're also feeling like you could fight more for this thing that you've been obsessing about and working so hard on. There's a part of you that wants to stay, and there's a part of you that really wants to go. So I just want to, let's look at these cards. Perception. Better than you can imagine. Tame and attain. So this is interesting. I'm definitely getting a sense that you're feeling overwhelmed and you just want to bury your head in the sand. You don't want to try to figure out if you should stay or if you should leave. And I think that any choice you make is going to bring success. I think that once you tame the chaos in your mind about this choice that you're needing to make, I think that you're going to find it easier. Nourish the shadow. The overall feeling that I got from your dream is that you're at a crossroads, but it's a crossroads that you created for yourself. And like I said, I don't know if this has to do with work or if it has to do with a love interest. You might really love your work. I have a lot of pentacle energy, which is usually about money. And the Two of Cups is usually about love. So you could really love your work and you could be at a crossroads. Which direction should I go? But it also could be about a relationship that you've invested so much time in. And I feel like this idea that you have to choose right now or that you have to have an answer right now, I feel like that's the problem. I feel like that is what your subconscious is trying to tell you. You don't actually need to make a choice right now. If you're in a dangerous situation, you know what choice you need to make. But for the dreamer, they weren't in danger. They stayed on that stage and they continued to try to remember all the verses. So I think that is symbolic of what you may want to consider doing now in your waking life. Don't spend so much time trying to figure out what could happen, what should happen, and instead just be in this moment right now and see what's working and see what's not. Could you stay where you're at and implement new things? If you leave, is it going to be a pattern? Are you going to leave for this new person or this new job, this new adventure? Are you going to leave for that and then eventually get to a place where you feel like you're overworking and that you need to leave again? Those are things that you should think about. You won't be able to figure out what it is you really want if you're so far in the future or so far in the past. Try to ground yourself right here, right now. I hope this helps.